All right, today we're journeying back in time, way back, to uncover this absolutely colossal empire that for some reason is often left out of our history books. We're talking about a civilization that stood shoulder to shoulder with the giants of the ancient world. I mean, what if I told you there was an African empire that was a true equal, an actual rival to the great powers of the ancient world? We're talking about an empire so influential that it was considered one of the four great powers of its time. Yeah, right up there with Rome, Persia, and China. Well, that empire was Aksum. And look, this wasn't some minor kingdom on the fringes of civilization. No way. This was a global player, a massive hub of trade, innovation, and faith that really shaped the course of history, not just in Africa, but way beyond. So let's do this. Let's pull back the curtain on this forgotten superpower. We're going to really introduce one of the great civilizations of the ancient world and dig into why its story is just so crucial for how we understand the past. Okay, so first things first, the basics. What are we talking about here? The Aksumite Empire was this dominant trading power located right where modern-day Ethiopia and Eritrea are. And get this, for nearly 800 years, it was this shining beacon of wealth and culture in the ancient world. So the big question is, how did Aksum get so powerful? Well, the answer, like it so often is in history, really just comes down to three things: location, location, and location. Let's dive into how its strategic spot on the map fueled an absolute economic powerhouse. You see, Aksum's secret weapon was its prime real estate. It was situated right on the Red Sea, which meant it became the essential middleman, you know? It was the vital link connecting the entire Roman Mediterranean world with all the riches of India and, of course, the incredible resources of Inner Africa. And this setup they had, it was the perfect one-two punch. First, you have the capital city, which was also called Aksum, nestled up in these fertile highlands, just perfect for agriculture. Then you have its main port, Adulis, which was this bustling gateway to the rest of the world, basically throwing the doors wide open for international trade. And you just have to look at the sheer scale of this trade. I mean, Aksum was exporting all this incredibly valuable stuff: ivory, gold, frankincense. And what were they getting back? Luxury items, fancy textiles, spices from all over the known world. This constant flow of goods created just immense wealth and made Aksum a truly cosmopolitan center. Now, all of that wealth, it didn't just sit in a vault somewhere. No, it fueled a golden age of incredible achievements. We're about to see a civilization at the absolute peak of its power. To put it simply, Aksum's economic might is what allowed its culture to just flourish. All this prosperity led to these breathtaking feats of engineering, stunning art, and, these really profound cultural shifts that would go on to define the whole region for centuries. And hey, when we say breathtaking, we really mean it. Just try to imagine this: a monument carved from a single piece of stone, an obelisk soaring over 20 meters into the sky. That's taller than a 5-story building. And the craziest part? They built these things without a single piece of modern technology. Yeah, these incredible structures are called stelae, and they weren't just for decoration. Oh no, they were massive tomb markers for kings and queens, and they were intricately carved to look just like multi-story buildings. You can see these false doors and windows. They were meant to be a permanent symbol of a king's palace and his power, a palace that would follow him even into the afterlife. But Aksum's innovation wasn't just about carving stone. At the very height of its power, the empire went through this massive spiritual transformation. It became one of the very first major empires in the entire world to officially adopt Christianity. This really pivotal moment happened around the year 330 CE, when the king himself, King Ezana, converted. And this wasn't just a personal choice for him, it became state policy. And you can literally see the proof right on their money. After Ezana's conversion, the Christian cross starts showing up on Aksumite coins, which is such a powerful symbol of the new state religion. And hey, speaking of coins, Aksum's achievements just keep stacking up. For one, they developed their own unique written language, Ge'ez, which, by the way, is still used today in the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. And their coins, minted in gold, silver, and bronze, they were actually the first in all of Africa to have inscriptions in a local language. That is a huge statement of national pride and economic muscle. But, as it is with all great empires, Aksum's golden age, well, it couldn't last forever. So now we have to turn to a more somber, but just as important part of the story: how this incredible global power slowly faded from the world stage. So what happened? Well, it wasn't one single thing, but more like a cascade of factors. First, the rise of Islam in the 7th century completely changed global trade. As Muslim merchants started to dominate the Red Sea, Aksum found itself more and more cut off from its economic lifeline. That loss of trade revenue really weakened the kingdom, and things were only made worse by environmental problems, stuff like deforestation and soil exhaustion. But here's the thing, the end of its political power was not the end of Aksum's story. Not even close. Its influence echoes through the centuries, so let's finish by exploring its enduring legacy and really understand why Aksum still matters so much today. I think this quote really captures the essence of it all. Aksum's story is just powerful proof of an African civilization that wasn't just passively taking in influences from the outside, but was a deeply creative and hugely influential force on the world stage in its own right. And that legacy? It is absolutely alive and well today. Aksum is the bedrock of modern Ethiopian identity. It's the spiritual heart of the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. The Ge'ez script we talked about? Still used in worship. And, according to ancient tradition, Aksum is the legendary home, the final resting place of the Ark of the Covenant. Ultimately, what this all means is that the story of Aksum forces us to rethink history. It's a powerful counter-narrative. It directly challenges all those old, outdated, and frankly wrong ideas about Africa's past. It proves, without a doubt, that the continent was home to incredibly complex, powerful, and globally connected civilizations a long time ago. You know, learning about Aksum really makes you wonder, doesn't it? If a superpower of this magnitude can be so widely overlooked by so many of us, what other great stories from our shared human history are still out there, just waiting to be told?